I actually asked the police, Steve. I don't know if you know who Steve is. He's basically the main copper at the park that
Was
runs
it
it.
this week? Yeah, there was a video on
Yeah,
it. Wasn't it this week? I think,
yeah,
or last
exactly. Yeah,
week was it?
yeah, it was recorded, and I actually asked him this: is there any possibility of the park ever getting shut down, even if it means that God forbid, someone got stabbed or killed? He said no. He goes, if that happens, it will have to go through the parliament. He said. So that whole notion that the park's going to get closed down, I mean, I
Mm.
wouldn't sweat too much about it, to be honest. I think that was just kind of a
And do
scare.
you really believe them, bro? Come on, they
Well,
said a
live.
lot of things, yeah.
To be honest, actually, look. What he was saying is that basically, like that park is basically the beacon of freedom of speech for these people. Do you understand? Like they hold it in such esteem. So for them to kind of close it would kind of be seen as a kind of defeat. Do you understand? So he was adamant that there's no chance of this park ever getting shut down unless even through the parliament. He said. You understand? That's what he said. So. But coming this film with Shamsi, that you mentioned about unity and stuff like that, I 100% agree with you. And I've known Shamsi for a long time, bro. And the problem with Shamsi, actually, he's very stubborn. He's very, very stubborn. The brother does very good work at the park. Mashallah, like he does good dawah. But you have to understand, akhi. You see, these brothers at SPUBS, Salafi publication, their manhaj, they're basically point of view is this: they're all about quality and not quantity. They don't care if the whole Muslim ummah comes together to unite. The whole Muslim ummah comes together to unite. They will not unite if it means that they're united upon misguidance. Yeah, and misguidance. What they define as misguidance is very loose. Is only according to them. So, like you hear a lot of times Shamsi saying, for example, we're here to split the haqq between the batil. Yeah. So you have to understand what Shamsi means when he says that. You see, although they're going to disagree with me, but ultimately, for these brothers, the haqq is Maktaba Salafiyah, Salafi publication. That is the haqq. Anything else apart from Maktaba Salafiyah is batil. Now they will say, no, that's not true. But I'm saying, okay, I challenge you. I challenge you. Name me one speaker or scholar outside your group that you take from. Not a single one. In fact, anyone who speaks out against them, they will drop you from the list, from the manhaj list. That's why if you follow these guys from 20 years ago, the list of scholars they should take from, it was from dozens back in the early 90s. Now they're just down to like maybe 3 or 4 scholars that they take from.
Mm.
And they don't care, bro. Like for them, they don't care if the entire ummah apostates. As long as they believe that there's a group of people who are upon what they're upon, for them that's sufficient. Any talk of unity here and there for them is ikhwani talk. You talk like that to Shamsi, he will say, "Get away from me." That's ikhwani talk. But no, we're not saying that we're going to unite when it comes upon aqidah issues. We're not going to compromise. For example, Salahuddin Ayyubi rahimullah, yeah, the man who conquered Palestine from the Crusaders. He was the man who conquered Palestine from the Crusaders. He was Ashari, but he had Salafis fighting alongside him, like Ibn Qudama rahimahullah, who was one of the cornerstones, founders of the Hanbali madhab. Do you understand? He
And
was a
why was that,
hardcore.
bro?
Why was
Why was
that?
that though? Yeah, go on. I want to know. I'm interested now because obviously you're saying something that interesting that this person was one thing, and then there was other people fighting with for him.
Why? Because obviously they were so foresight. They had such foresight, and they had the knowledge to understand. That look, now we're in a situation where the enemies of Islam has the upper hand of us. We've lost
All right, okay.
Beit al-Maqdis. If we do not unite for this cause, then we're doomed. And I believe we're in a similar situation now at this moment where we're saying, look, we're not saying let's ignore our aqidah issues and compromise on it. No one's saying it. No one's saying that we're going to unite with the Rafda. We're talking about Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We're talking about the different sects or groups or whatever you want to call it within Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and that includes the Asharis and the Mutaridis. Do you understand? We're talking about we are uniting upon a good cause, and this is from Islam, by the way. Yeah, we can justify this from the Sunnah, even from Hifl al-Fudul and other things, even from the Quran. But what they would do, they say, look, Allah says in the Quran that Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. So they will use these ayat to say, look, nothing will change unless we change what is within ourselves. So what they mean by that is that, look, we have to get rid of all the bid'ah, all the shirk first. We have to basically unite upon one scholar, with Sheikh Rabi al-Madkhali. We have to all submit to Abu Khadija, Abu Hakim. Obviously, they don't say this. Like, I'm just kind of paraphrasing and kind of exaggerating. But in essence, this is what they say. You understand? That if you want Allah to change our condition, it is not for us to unite with everyone. It's for us to come upon correct aqidah, which is that we follow what they follow, which is obviously Rabi al-Madkhali and Abu Khadija, Abu Hakim. And you know, it's a shame because I tried to explain to Shamsi, look, this thinking is never gonna happen. You're not gonna, this will never ever happen. You're not going to get the Ummah come and submit to Rabi al-Madkhali and Abu Khadija and come to and sign up for SPUBS membership. It's not gonna happen. You're dreaming. All you're doing is splitting the Muslims up for a dream that never ever will come true. Do you understand? So, at the end of the day, look, these brothers, you know, they're very adamant in their thinking. And to be honest, a lot of times it's a waste of time even talking to them because I find them very hard-headed, very kind of dogmatic in their thinking, and you know, it's kind of a waste of time, to be honest. I think there's a lot of brothers amongst them who are sincere. I'm not going to paint all of them the same brush that they're all the same. There's a lot of good brothers amongst them, very sincere brothers, you know, that just want to follow the Sunnah. You know, they want to basically follow the correct understanding, and this is what they believe is the truth. Do you understand? But people like Shamsi, he knows very well. I mean, I personally believe that Shamsi is more knowledgeable than Abu Khadija, and I told him this. Do you understand? But the reason why, I mean, I personally don't understand why he even calls Abu Khadija his teacher, because I believe Abu Khadija is the absolute jahil. He's an absolute jahil, Abu Khadija. And I told Shamsi, I said, bro, why are you calling this guy your teacher? You know you have more knowledge than him. And you know, Shamsi, he doesn't say a word. He won't say a word. But he knows. He knows himself. But why? Why does he say he's his teacher? Because obviously Abu Khadija holds the keys. He holds the keys to Shamsi's what? Future in this dunya. So you will see Shamsi go and give him talk in different massages. You know, they have places all over the country. You understand, like centers and stuff like that. And Shamsi's now like he's moving up in the ranks.
So you're saying is he employed by them?
Yeah, obviously. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course he must be. Of course. I mean, Shamsi, as far as I know, doesn't do 9 to 5. Like, you know, like like the rest of them, right? He's doing this full time. Do you understand? Of course, yeah, of course. These guys, look, the SPUBS is a multi-million-dollar company. That's all it is. These guys make money, bro. Trust me. I think Hijab, I'm not sure if he's already released it or not, but he's got a lot of stuff on that, to be honest. That's
Rayan says you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but obviously, look, end of the day, look, I mean, like the foot soldiers, like I call them the foot soldiers, yeah, who kind of low in rank, they don't know these things, innit? They don't know this. A lot of them are actually, these brothers are simpletons. A lot of them, they're good brothers, and they have good heart and everything, good intention, but they're simpletons. Do you understand? Like they actually believe that Maktaba Salafiyah is like, subhanAllah, like the Salafiyah of the early Salaf, the real Salaf. You know, they actually believe this. Do you understand? And you know, wallah, what can I say, akhi? Wallah, a lot of them have been misled. That's why a lot of them, akhi, they wake up and they realize a lot of the brothers left. You know, like, you know, for example, there's one brother. What was his name? He was with them. Like there's even one brother now. Like his name is Dawood Adib. Yeah, like he hasn't fully come out yet, but once he comes out, you know, he's like one of the elders from America. You know, black brother, very very knowledgeable, mashallah. You know, old from the old times. You know, once he comes out,
he's in America though, isn't he? He's not.
Yeah. Knowledgeable, mashallah. Yeah, he was with them from the start. Yeah, he was like before, like he's even older than Abu Khadija and them. Like. Once he comes out and he speaks out against them, that's it. It's game over for these guys. Game over. Yeah, and they know themselves. You know, they got so many problems. You know, people are leaving them left, right, center. You know, shuyukh leaving them like Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi. You know, so many shuyukh they dropped. Sheikh Abdul Hamid, Sheikh Abdullah Najmi, Sheikh Bakur, so many, like the list it goes on for endless. Shuyukh they took from, you know, they've dropped or made tabdi' on. I don't know what it is. So
yeah, but wait, Abdul Hamid, who's the one making tabdi' in those circles? On the ulama, like I mean, like people need to be qualified to make tabdi'.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. I mean, this is the thing that unfortunately these guys do not know the level. They don't know the level. That's the problem. And there was actually an agreement they signed back in '99, where Sheikh Rabi' was meant to be the kind of arbitrator and stuff like that with Hassan al-Maghribi and stuff like that. It's very, very famous thing that Abdul Hamid even spoke about on his channel, where they signed an agreement. They will stop making tabdi' and leave it for the scholars, and they broke that agreement. This is going back in '99. Can you imagine all these years? So they're known to make treacherous moves. Yeah, let's put it that way. These brothers are not.
It's not just takfir that requires you to have right. Takfir mu'ayyan is to be done by the most senior scholars, the ones who are known for their taqwa and khashya as well, not just any regular person.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with tabdi' as well. Not just anyone can do that. It should be senior people.
Exactly.
And it should be, or it goes to court and it goes to through the correct admin process. But these guys, I'm not saying names, but and they've even been told by scholars that they're not to do it. Nobody in the UK, apparently, according to the scholars that were asked, is qualified to do that.
That's my biggest concern, is that they have like mujtahid, like people making ijtihad and making fatwa. That's my biggest concern, like with the whole rhetoric. I understand, we unite upon the right aqidah, we leave out the bid'ah and this thing, but then to say like to cut the chain between the ulama and now it's in our hands, I think that's dangerous move,
I agree. Unfortunately, these brothers do not see the harm they are doing to us, to us and them. Do you understand? By breaking up our brotherhood, by causing the splits, they don't realize how much damage they're actually doing. And to them, this is ibadah. They believe when they do this, they're doing ibadah. They come close to Allah. And it reminds me of the Khawarij, Abdul Hamid.
It's the same approach. One is extreme in takfir, the other is extreme in tabdi'. Same thing, bro.
Exactly. And the way the takfiris treat a kafir, these guys and mubtadi', they treat him exactly the same. And someone who's a mubtadi', although they believe he's a Muslim, but they treat him exactly like a kafir, worse than a kafir even.
Yeah.
One thing these guys are kind of been criticized was that you're so soft with the kuffar, and when it comes to the Muslims who you believe is of the sunnah, you treat them worse than a kafir. SubhanAllah. I mean, wallahi akhi, and the funny thing is, but they justify this based upon that some of the Salaf, early Salaf, they had shiddah towards the Ahl Bid'ah. But I mean, when we talk about, we're talking about people upon the Sunnah who were known to be upon the Sunnah, who spread the Sunnah, and they maybe made mistakes here and there, and then you want to compare them to a Jahmi or Mu'tazili or Rafidi from those days, because those were the Bid'ah the Salaf had shiddah towards. Not someone who was, upon Salafiyah and then maybe he made a mistake here and there, maybe even he did something which was considered to be bid'ah, yeah? But even someone who does a bid'ah doesn't make him mufti, aslan. It's not like that. Do you understand? So,
exactly.
Allah mustaqi, I hope these brothers just know that level, man. Just stay in your lane, just do what you're doing, like, you're doing a good job, mashallah. But one thing I'll give it to them, akhi, like, the stuff they translate and sell, excellent, very good. The books, Maktaba Salafiyah, I recommend their books all day long.